Arcadian Vanguard presents the Wrestling News and your daily wrestling newscast for Friday, October 25th, 2024. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin today with WWE Corporate news. TKO Group, the umbrella company that contains both WWE and the UFC, has grown to include 3 more properties. According to a press release yesterday, TKO has acquired from its parent company Endeavor the assets of 3 sports-related properties. These include the Professional Bull Riders as well as the fan experience company On Location and the sports marketing and management company IMG. Said Mark Shapiro, President and Chief Operating Officer of TKO, quote, PBR, On Location, and IMG are industry-leading assets that meaningfully enhance TKO's portfolio and strengthen our position in premium sports globally. Within TKO, they will help power the growth of our revenue streams and position us to capture even more upside from some of the most attractive parts of our sports ecosystem. Media rights, live events, ticket sales, premium experiences, brand partnerships, and site fees. These assets are already built into our business strategy at TKO and will serve to further enhance our strong track record of execution across UFC and WWE, end quote. In ratings news, AEW Dynamite this week drew an audience of 637,000 at TBS, up slightly from last week's audience of 633,000, according to WrestleNomics. In the 18 to 49-year-old demographic, the rating was a .23, also up from last week's demo rating of .20. TNA Wrestling presented the Bound for Glory Go Home edition of Impact last night on Access TV, featuring matches taped October 2nd in Nashville. The show closed with a double contract signing segment for Bound for Glory as Joe Hendry signed to face TNA World Champion Nick Nemeth, and Masha Slamovich signed to face TNA Knockouts champion Jordan Grace. In the main event, ABC and the Hardy Boys beat the System. Following the match, the System attacked ABC and the Hardys with Mike Santana attempting to make the save. Also on the show, Josh Alexander pinned Jonathan Gresham. After the match, the Northern Armory attacked Gresham with Steve Macklin getting laid out by Alexander when he tried to make the save. In other results, Wendy Chu beat Jody Threat. And in the opener, AJ Francis won a Scramble Madness match, which also involved Frankie Kazarian, Sami Callihan, Laredo Kid, Jake Something, and Jason Hotch. And finally, Ring of Honor streamed last night on Honor Club, featuring matches taped on October 17th in Stockton, California, and on October 16th in San Jose. In the main event, Brian Cage retained the ROH World TV title against Commander. In other selected results, Gates of Agony beat the Infantry, Reina Isis defeated Viva Van, and Rocky Romero topped Brandon Cutler. Also on the show, during a celebration to mark having the longest title reign in company history, ROH World Women's Champion Athena split with her underling Billy Starks before being attacked by Abaddon. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the Wrestling News. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.